Can Mercedes claw their way back to the top, or should they just give up their seat as Constructors Champion after 8 years of holding on to it? The 2021 season of Formula 1 was one of the craziest ever. There were so many problems, controversies, drama. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen drove wheel to wheel, fighting for the top. Verstappen was crowned champion with only an 8-point difference from Hamilton. So many were against this and tried but failed to give back the title to Hamilton. Then began the downfall of Hamilton. After that incident, the new season was rough for the driver. At the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Verstappen still took victory, while his rival was only in 10th place. A lot of drivers are unhappy with this map, Hamilton even claiming that he was just looking forward to getting out. He already looked defeated after qualifying though. Hamilton failed to make it to Q2 after he was pushed out by Lance Stroll in Q1. He called their car undrivable after the incident. This is the first qualifying round he fouled for the first time since the 2017 Brazilian Grand Prix. In no way he can win this race after that. He could only go up a few positions from P15, and then the timing of the pit lane closure made it all worse. We were all confused, even the team actually, whether to pit just before the virtual safety car was deployed. Poor Hamilton won't win at all. Hamilton was lucky enough to score points for that race, and he should thank ex-teammate Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo and Fernando Alonso for this. Mercedes' rookie driver even placed higher than him and overqualified him as well. Lewis thinks he's maximised everything he could in that race. Well, it honestly doesn't look it. He looked so gloomy and negative already. The race hasn't even started. This was most likely because he was one of the drivers who really disliked the place and voted for it to be cancelled due to the situation surrounding it. With 10th place, Lewis Hamilton was just ready to leave. He looked like he couldn't care less about the positions. As Max Verstappen won, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc was second and teammate Carlos Sainz was third. Sergio Perez was in fourth for Red Bull, while newbie George Russell was fifth for Mercedes. Lewis caught the attention of the Saudi Arabian government with all of his comments. They want to meet him in person to hear all his concerns and disagreements on how the country is run. Imagine having such a big name just to be invited like this. Sadly, Hamilton was not comfortable there. But the map isn't the only reason why Lewis Hamilton is lacking. This is the longest time in Formula 1 history where the driver has not placed a podium finish for so many years. Mercedes is already so far behind their competitors Red Bull and Ferrari. Hamilton even declared that he knows he can't keep up with a team like Haas and their power. Really? Haas? We haven't seen that in a while. It's probably because of all the new rules and drivers. That's why the team finally reclaimed their position in the middle. The first few races of the 2022 Formula 1 season have seen Mercedes make their least competitive start to a championship since 2013. They are known to have one of the greatest cars in the sport, and they also have the best drivers. So whatever happened to them? Hamilton is far from getting his new championship title since his team is behind Ferrari and Red Bull. Charles Leclerc is on a roll and Verstappen is always behind him. They can never be seen without each other. Mercedes won the opening races in the last 3 seasons, yet they're at the bottom nowadays. They can only do so much to bounce back with that cost cap. Can Mercedes fix the W13 to win? The new W13 was looked forward to by most of Formula 1 fans, but it's already one of the overweight cars and its design is significantly different. Maybe they thought this was for the better, but things took a negative turn. Hamilton also struggled with porpoising, and honestly, it looks like Mercedes struggled the most in this. They are yet to discover how to fix their car, and we all know that the cost cap is affecting the team big time. George Russell said they're only making baby steps. Well, they have to move faster now. How many races has it been? Red Bull and Ferrari are already dominating the points. The 4 drivers of the teams are just interchanging podium positions like it's a game. They should be also afraid of the other teams. They are starting to overpower Mercedes. Haas, they're proving their worth. The small team used to struggle because teams were allowed to spend however they wanted back then. Lavish improvements, luxury cars, you name it. The cost cap was introduced to promote a level playing field in the sport. It's designed to limit the amount of money a Formula 1 team can spend during a calendar year. This is really helpful for smaller teams, but it is a bit of a problem for the bigger teams like Mercedes. With that financial regulations, you can already see which teams deserve to be on top. The truth is that the entire Mercedes team will find it both operationally and financially challenging to work their way out of this dilemma. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell surprisingly admitted that they won't be the fastest team for a while. It looks like they are struggling with all of these new design regulations and altered rules. They clearly will not be able to compete for the wins at the start of the 2022 season, maybe even the rest of the season if they don't get their stuff together.